crows and ravens. Welcome to the gentle flow of chaos, and thank you for tuning in to my ASMR vlog, where you guys get to listen to me talk about my realization about the power of friendship and anime. So, recently I've been reading a lot, and I do mean a lot, of RPG horror stories. And once again, I found myself reading about an anime lover ruining the campaign or session for everyone else by trying to emulate anime. And honestly, I couldn't understand why I was finding so many RPG horror stories on this particular type of event. I have ran a number of anime-inspired RPG games, campaign sessions, and I have played a good amount of characters inspired by some of my favorite anime characters. And these usually all turn out very well. In fact, I don't think I've ever had a problem in any of these games. I've never been kicked out. No one has ever had to just leave suddenly. Everybody has always enjoyed themselves, and I've always gotten good feedback. And by good feedback, I mean just good general feedback, like, hey, this was really fun, but I would like to see more of this, or can we do less fighting and do more mysteries, and actual positive feedback. Even if I was lacking in something, they would tell me what I was lacking and what they want more of. But I've never had any of these RPG horror story events happen, and a lot of my stuff is influenced by anime. So it got me thinking, why was this happening? Why is it so just common for this to happen, At first I thought it was just conversion rates. They're converting wrong. Because, getting anime characters, using anime influences is not direct transfer. It's not just take this, put it here, it works. That's not how it works. It's not a 1-for-1 ratio or anything like that. And some of you might be thinking, then how does it work? And I will save that for a different video on the thought space episode, so stick around and look for it when it comes out. That being said, I'm having more ASMR content on the way, not just ASMR vlogs, plus RPG content for tabletop games and voice content as well. So we have a lot of stuff coming up, including VTube stuff. So yay. Now that I've stumbled a little way off track, this thought was just kind of in my mind. Why was this happening? Why is this so often? So I tried to look for a commonality between these things. What really happened, and why is this so common amongst anime players, anime watchers, anime lovers, the weebs in general, the toxic weebs, not the appropriate, well-adjusted weebs, but the toxic weebs, right? So I go through some of these, I read through them, I think about the anime, go watch the anime, think about the references, and I started to notice a kind of strange phenomenon. And this might be why most people are very worried or wary of having anime influences within their games. I found the whole concept of the power of friendship to be not at all about friendship. And I really do mean the power of friendship is kind of distorted in anime, when you really think about it. So think about an instance where the power of friendship helped the anime character succeed in a mission, or beating the boss or a villain or anything like that. You can go ahead and pause the video, because you have the freedom to pause me whenever you want, to make me wait for you for as long as you want. Now that I've finished stalling, what did you think of? Did you perhaps think of the anime character saying, "I need to protect my friends," or maybe them talking about how much their friends believe in them or mean to them, or something along a dramatic speech about friendship and gaining a power boost with their stats tripling and then defeating the bad guy? Now, when you think about that, that's not really the power of friendship. It's more of the power of belief and support, but not really friendship in general. You see, most animes really just play off the power of friendship like this, not really exploring or even really utilizing what the power of friendship could really mean. And I'm gonna use an example that my little niece and cousins really enjoy watching. They enjoy watching My Little Pony, and the reason I'm choosing this as an example is because of the title. My Little Pony Friendship is Magic. And here's why. My Little Pony typically plays off the power of friendship better than most animes. With most animes, you get the dramatic speech. With My Little Pony, you get they have the realization of the fact that they are not alone. So they start working together, combining their abilities, and using their abilities in unison with one another to actually defeat whatever they need to defeat, or clear whatever obstacle they need to kind of get through. And that's kind of the real power of friendship, is working together and using unique traits that each others have, and kind of combining them to get past obstacles you could not get through alone. It's teamwork, trust, and cooperation. It's also communication. But you don't see that very often in anime. Now, I say very often, but there are animes that actually do show the true power of friendship. For example, Jujutsu Kaisen does this very, very well with a particular scene. With that being said, a minor spoiler warning. I'm only saying minor because you've probably seen the fight on YouTube, and I'm gonna be as vague as possible. So, in Jujutsu Kaisen, there's the MC. The MC ends up meeting another character. They become friends, and their friendship grows. Now, after their friendship grows, a creature attacks them. They fight the creature, and their teamwork and belief in each other, and their combination of working together and utilizing each other's strength and trusting the other to have their back and to cover for their weakness kind of helps them fight this creature. A creature that they would probably get completely wiped if they fought by themselves. But they weren't by themselves. They were with their friend, who had their back, who they trusted, who gave them strength. And that's the real power of friendship. That's a genuine example of the power of friendship. Okay, so I forgot to tell you where to skip, but it's okay. Somehow or another, I am sure you got here, and if you didn't, I am so sorry. I will do better about that next time. Okay. Okay? Okay. We got each other. You know? So, most animes are just not like that. Most animes are a flashback about friendship and then they get a power up, or a dramatic speech about friendship and then they get a power up. It's not very often that you get actual friendship that utilizes relying on one's friend to get out of a situation and strengthening the bond between the characters. Now, when you hear this, there's another anime that might pop into mind. Though there are very few animes that utilize this, there are some animes that use it a lot. And the anime I'm speaking of is Black Clover. If you watch Black Clover, you'll find a lot of instances where the MC and other characters will team up together to fight certain enemies and get through certain obstacles, which is actually very cool. It's not always that they need to work together, because a lot of times there is one-on-one fights, and they're usually really interesting in themselves, but it's the teamwork of working together to defeat enemies and utilizing their trust in each other and building their friendship and allowing themselves to grow along with their friends that really make this an anime about the power of friendship. That really is their strength, the power of friendship in this anime. So yeah, go check it out if you want to see a prime example of what, at least what I believe the power of friendship should look like. And then again, this is all my opinions. This is completely biased. This is not an objective thought. This is just how I feel, how I think, what goes on through my head. You know? Not exactly what's going on, what's right, what's wrong, none of that. This is just my own personal thoughts. Now, with that being said, anime seem to have this kind of distorted view of what friendship is. It is not distorted, but distorted focus. Like, getting to spend time with them, making memories, that's all part of friendship. But, like, they don't show how that actually powers someone up. They just let the MC or side character or whoever, you know, kind of remember those good times and make that their strength. Make simply caring their strength. And while that's all well and good, it shouldn't be the go-to each time, because friendship is more than just that. They don't show the actual interaction of working together as friends. They don't show the bonds that can be created through getting through obstacles together, which I think is kind of sad. You watch something like Naruto with his special talk jutsu, where he's able to convince some of the dastardly villains to become good guys, but you don't see enough teamwork in the anime. You know, you don't see enough fights where they're fighting together. I mean, and when you do see them, honestly, they're pretty amazing. When you do see them fighting together as a team, it's really cool, it's really epic, it's really some of the best fighting in the entire anime in my opinion, and I love it. But my point is, for something that focuses so strongly on making connection, they very rarely show the strength of those connections working in unison throughout their battles, at least from my perspective and from what I see. Now, are there other animes that utilizes it a lot better? Yes. But once again, there are a lot of animes that kind of focuses on the MC getting through everything by himself, facing the world by himself, doing this by himself, and his friends are simply there to be memory fuel, so he can have that epic monologue about his past and how his friends helped him through his fast so he can power up and defeat the bad guy. And that's when I kind of got to that point of realization. Two things. First, I realized that anime's power of friendship can vary greatly depending on the type of anime, but usually focuses on the big monologue memories and using friends as emotional fuel for the main character or whoever is getting the spotlight for that episode. Secondly, I realized that those types of animes, those kind of idealism of friendship, does not work very well with D&D, and that's why my D&D games or tabletop games to be more exact, because I'm not just talking about D&D here, I'm talking about group tabletop games. And that's why my tabletop games kind of run a lot more smoothly, because I don't focus on this aspect. In fact, I take this aspect out completely in my games. I just focus on the interesting concept and ideas that animes provide to us, and then use that and tailor it into a kind of story and concept or like theme campaign or character that works well in a group. But those people who are toxic anime fans, toxic weebs, do not do this. Instead, they focus and hone in on the MC handling everything by himself, the MC being the star. And that's why we have so many, toxic horror stories about toxic weebs. I know I said toxic sides, and that's a double negative, making it sound like telling these stories are toxic, but they're not toxic. They're telling the stories, so I wanted to clear that up. But I am saying that toxic weebs are toxic, and the fact that they focus so highly on being the star and having these anime, I'm doing quotation marks, but you guys can't see them, anime moments is just horrid and gives out a very, very bad name. So, yeah. It's hyper focused on being the star and pretending to utilize the power of friendship to its fullest ability, when TTRPG games are a group game where you need to work together and should probably be more heavily based on, working as a team. And a lot of toxic weebs don't think about that and tend to just forget about their team and not make a character that fits with their team, which is why we have so many just horror stories about toxic weebs. That, and we don't have enough stories of amazing moments of D&D history. I feel like we just don't get to see some of the cool moments that come from anime-inspired games, anime community, not just the anime community, anime TTRPG community, that section of someone who loves anime and loves TTRPG and combining their two loves together. We just don't get to see enough of the cool stuff that comes from there, because the toxic people, the toxic anime lover are actually pretty bad, pretty awful, and they kind of, overshadow all the good stuff because they're just that bad and it sucks, but once again, they're focusing on this kind of pseudo friendship, or what I'm calling the pseudo power of friendship, more like the power of self-belief, to the point of them making narcissistic characters instead of caring characters, which is weird because most animes have very caring MCs. So, yeah. Anyways, that's all I have to say today, and that's all. So, if you enjoyed this video, do all of that YouTube stuff, the comments, the share, the subscribe, all of that YouTube junk. And remember, vibe with the chaos.